Be honest with me for a second. If you sold everything you own today, your car, your couch, your laptop, drained your bank account, then paid off every debt, would you have money left or would you still be negative? That's negative net worth. And here's the truth. You can have a solid job, a nice place, even a good life online, and still be worth less than zero. Today, I'll show you why it happens, what keeps you stuck, and the exact steps to climb out. Let's pull back the curtain. Your net worth is simply everything you own minus everything you owe. Assets minus debts. Assets are things like cash, savings, investments like a 401k or IRA, and the real market value of stuff you could realistically sell, like your car. Debts are student loans, credit cards, car loans, medical debt, anything with your name on it. If what you owe is bigger than what you own, you have a negative net worth. That's the whole concept. Here's a real life example. Let's say you've got student loans, a couple credit cards, and a car loan. Together, that's $80,000. On the asset side, maybe your car is worth $20,000 today. You've got $5,000 in the bank and a small 401k balance, say another $5,000. That's $30,000 in assets. So $30,000 minus $80,000 equals negative $50,000. Now, the math is easy. The hard part is the emotion. A lot of people don't look at this number because it triggers shame. I'm behind. Everyone else has it together. I'm bad with money. But here's the wake up and the relief. Negative net worth is common in the US, especially early in your career. It's not your identity, it's a snapshot. And once you face it, you can build a system to move that number up. Negative net worth isn't a moral failing, it's a math problem and a system problem. And both can be changed. No shame, just data. And we'll start by making this simple, not perfect, one step at a time.
Here's why negative net worth happens to so many people in the US, and why it's not because you're bad with money. First, student loans. Tuition and living costs have climbed for decades, so a lot of people graduate already $20,000, $50,000, even $100,000 in the hole. That means you're not starting at zero. You're starting adult life on hard mode with a monthly payment before you've even built real income momentum. Second, credit cards and normal consumer debt. Credit is everywhere, and it's marketed like it's harmless. Minimum payments make the bill feel manageable. Buy now, pay later makes spending feel painless, and the story becomes, I'll pay it off later. But later turns into months, then years, because interest quietly turns small purchases into a long-term tax on your future. Third, car financing and lifestyle pressure. In America, a car is often treated like a status signal. People buy the monthly payment they can handle, sign 5 to 7 year loans, and drive off with something that starts losing value immediately. So the car depreciates, but the loan doesn't. That gap can keep your net worth negative even if you're doing everything right on paper. Fourth, medical bills and emergencies. One unexpected health issue, a dental procedure, a family crisis. Without an emergency fund, you don't pay with savings. You pay with credit, and that can drop your net worth fast. And here's the big one. Nobody taught us net worth. School teaches GPA, resumes, and job interviews, but not how to track the real scoreboard of your financial life. And you can't win a game if you don't even know how the score is kept. Now let's talk about the part nobody says out loud. The lies people repeat about negative net worth. Because these myths keep you stuck. Myth number 1. As long as you can make the payments, you're fine. No. Making payments means you're surviving, not escaping. If you're only paying minimums, your net worth often doesn't move, or it can even get worse because interest is growing faster than your progress. Living on minimum payments is basically living to feed the debt, month after month. Myth number 2. You're young, debt is normal, don't worry about it. Debt can be common, sure, but staying negative for years has a real cost. You lose time for compounding. Every year you delay building assets is one less year your money has to grow. Time is the unfair advantage, and negative net worth can steal it quietly. Myth number 3. If I earn more later, it'll fix itself. That sounds logical, but lifestyle creep is real. Income goes from 40 to 80, and suddenly the apartment upgrades, the car upgrades, the vacations upgrade, and the debt stays. I've seen people double their salary and still have the same net worth because every raise got spent before it ever became savings or investing. Myth number 4. Once you're negative, you're doomed. That one is just false. Plenty of people have been down 20 grand, 50 grand, even 100 grand, and climbed back out. The difference isn't where they started. It's whether they built a plan and stayed consistent long enough for the math to finally turn in their favor. Step 1 is simple, and it's the step most people avoid. You have to face the real number. Because before you can escape negative net worth, you need to know exactly how negative it is. Not the "I think it's fine" version, the actual snapshot. Here's how to do it. Keep it basic. Grab a notes app or a sheet of paper. First, write down your assets, cash and savings. Investments like your 401k, IRA, or brokerage account, an estimate of your car's current value, and anything else you could realistically sell if you had to. Then write down your debts, student loans, credit cards, personal loans, car loans, medical debt, anything you owe. Now do one line of math. Assets minus debts equals net worth. And I want to take the pressure off right now. You do not need to be accurate to the last cent. This isn't your taxes. You just need to be close enough to know if you're around negative 5,000, negative 20, negative 60. And yes, the first time you see it, you might feel shocked or overwhelmed. That's normal. But here's the truth. That moment is where change starts. When the number becomes real, you stop guessing, and you finally get control. Step 2 is what I call stop the bleeding, because there's no point making a perfect debt payoff plan if you're still adding new debt every month. Here's the rule. Don't dig the hole deeper. Pause credit cards for non-essentials. Groceries and gas? Fine. But the random Amazon stuff, the treat-yourself dinners, the upgrades you can't actually afford right now, those have to stop for a season. And just as important, no new loans to upgrade your lifestyle. Not a new car because the payment fits. Not financing furniture. Not stretching for a nicer apartment just to feel caught up. If you're negative, your job is not to look rich. It's to get free. Next, minimize the fixed costs that are burning your net worth every month. Housing, car payments, subscriptions, eating out, delivery, all the little normal expenses that quietly add up. This doesn't mean you live like a monk forever. It means you live a little more boring for 6 to 12 months so you can breathe again and build momentum. And yes, build a mini emergency fund, even while your net worth is negative. I'm talking $500 to $1,000 in cash, because without that buffer, every flat tire, medical copay, or surprise bill sends you right back to the credit card, and you stay stuck. Remember this line, you can't climb out of a hole if you keep digging at the same time. Now step 3. You need a debt payoff framework that's simple enough to follow, but strong enough to actually work. First, list every debt you have in one place. For each one, write just 3 numbers: the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. That's your scoreboard. Then pick one of 2 strategies. Debt avalanche means you put extra money toward the debt with the highest interest rate first, while you pay minimums on everything else. This saves you the most money over time. It's the best strategy on paper, because it crushes interest fastest. Debt. Snowball means you put extra money toward the debt with the smallest balance first, again while paying minimums on everything else. This gives you quick wins, momentum, and motivation. It's the best strategy for a lot of people in real life because it's easier to stick with. And that's the key. Pick the one you'll actually stick to. The perfect plan you quit doesn't beat the good plan you follow. Here's a quick example. Say you have credit card 1, $2,000 at 22%, credit card 2, $1,000 at 19%, student loan, $15,000 at 5%. Snowball starts with the $1,000 card. Avalanche starts with the 22% card. Different order, same rule. Minimums on everything, and every extra dollar attacks one target until it's gone. Then you roll that payment into the next debt, and your power grows. And keep your expectations right. The goal in this phase isn't to get rich. The goal is to stop being negative and get your net worth back toward zero, because that's when you finally get room to build. Here's the part most people don't see coming. Once your net worth gets close to zero, the whole game changes. Up to this point, you've been in debt-only mode. Survive, stabilize, pay down. But as you climb out, you start shifting to debt plus investing, because now you're building ownership, not just cleaning up the past. In this phase, you're usually doing three things in parallel, at a pace that fits your life. First, if you still have high-interest debt, you keep attacking it. Anything with credit card level interest is still a priority, because that interest rate is basically working against you. Second, you start contributing consistently, especially if your job offers a 401k match. That match is free money. If you're leaving it on the table, you're turning down part of your paycheck. And third, you keep building your emergency fund toward 3 to 6 months of expenses, depending on how stable your income is and how many people depend on you. And here's the motivation. Going from negative 30,000 to zero can feel painfully slow. But going from zero to positive 30,000 often happens much faster once you're out of the hole, because your money is finally working for you instead of leaking to interest. Compounding really starts to matter when you're on the positive side of net worth. Now for the part that makes this stick long-term, your identity. If you keep telling yourself, "I'm bad with money," you'll act like it. You'll avoid the numbers, you'll procrastinate, and every setback will feel like proof. So I want you to switch the script. From now on, the story is, I'm someone who's cleaning up my money and building a positive net worth. That one sentence changes how you show up, because it turns this from shame into a project, a process. And remember, negative net worth is a temporary situation if you do four things. You know the number, you stop digging, you follow a clear plan, and you stay consistent for a few years. That's it. No magic. Just math and momentum. Here's a simple habit that keeps you grounded. Track your net worth once a month. Put it on a calendar. 5 minutes. Because progress isn't always dramatic. Even going from negative $30,000 to negative $28,500 is a win. That's proof you're moving in the right direction. And that's how people stay in the game long enough to actually win. If your net worth is negative right now, it doesn't have to stay that way. Step 1 is simple. Tonight, write down your real number. No more guessing. No more avoiding, just a snapshot. Step 2. Pick one debt payoff strategy, Avalanche or Snowball, and commit to it for the next 12 months. Not perfectly, just consistently. And if you want help figuring out what a good net worth looks like for your age, watch this next video. I'll break down net worth by age and explain why so many people feel behind, even when they're not. I'll see you there.